All right, everybody, we are recording, and I'm so excited about our All Heat team call tonight. Getting it towards the end of August, and we're getting to the end of our month. And it's always a really exciting time because lots of different people are trying to get to their next levels and make promotions and share, impact as many people as possible with their health by the end of the month. So for those who don't know you, it's actually me. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Nikki Cotton. Chris and I host this call. We've been with this company for 28 years. There's Chris. He's in the woods at our lake cabin at Lake of the Woods. He's coming down tonight to be with me, right, Chris? I miss you and I miss Skipper. So we have been with this company for 28 years, and it's been an absolutely amazing journey. And the best part of it is being able to witness transformation in people, both in health, both in personal growth, watching the transformation of our community, where we've all really fallen in love with one another and we truly are a tribe. And the fourth piece is really watching the personal transformations of each of the people. Julie, who's going to be on the call with us tonight, is not in our HEAT team. She's in another team, although we have officially adopted her because we've totally fallen in love with Julie. And I'll just tell you, gosh, this is perfect. I've never done this before, Julie, but I'm going to try to do 3 words that describe you to me. And it's making me cry. I would say perseverance, strength, and a beautiful softness that once you get to know Julie is really there. And I was told that all along. And at the very beginning, I don't know that I saw it, Julie. I really see it in you, this beautiful, soft, warm, loving person that you are. And you have an amazing journey and so much to teach all of us. She just made National Marketing Director a couple weeks ago. And we're so happy for her. And I'm going to turn this over to you, Julie.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Nikki. I'm crying, just looking at you. And tonight you're going to get Julie G, NMD Unplugged. I think I'm going to tell you parts of my story that I've never shared before. And it's because I'm ready and because the last 4 years has truly transformed me. And so many of you on this call have been watching this transformation, not just with my team, but with a lot of the members on the HEAT team. So I'm so grateful to be an adopted member. It is truly an honor. And I'm just excited to have the privilege of sharing my story. I always keep notes, but I kind of go off the cuff. But Nikki and Chris have really embraced me, all of me. And they are an incredible example of what this mission is all about. Meeting people where they are with love and shining on them. See, I'm getting the lingo. Shining and attraction and all of these things. It works and I love it. I love being a part of this energy. But I'm really here tonight to encourage and affirm you. So whether you're a brand new rep or you're a seasoned rep on this call, you're at the right place at the right time. And I hope that you hear something from me tonight that you resonate with. So take what you can and leave the rest. But before I forget, my team above and beyond who are on this call, you are all rock stars. And this moment, or the moment that's going to be roaring in Tampa, could not have been possible without you. And I'm seeing some of your faces right now. And I'm just thinking of you right now. So last weekend, my husband, Rocco Gervasi, and I celebrated 4 years with the Juice Plus company. And I almost can't remember a life before Juice Plus, but I am going to try. We were introduced to this company over 4 years ago, about 4.5 years ago, by a family physician. He actually lives 2 doors down from me, and he is a national marketing director in his own right, together with his wife. They shared plant concentrates with us when I was about 6 months pregnant with our daughter, Lena. I was working 2 crazy jobs, one full-time job as a hospital-based nurse on a really busy post-operative floor. And the second job that I had was working part-time as a clinical research nurse, researching nutritional products and ergogenic aids in the Rutgers Human Performance Lab. If you could say that my life was setting me up to do this job, everything kind of lined up. The issues that I had being a nurse, I would bring trays of pills into people all the time. I would bring them food that was highly processed with high fructose corn syrup and dyes. And I would sit there outside of their room and go, there's something wrong with this picture. People keep coming back. We're really not doing our jobs. I got up at 4:50 every single morning. I was out the door by 6 a.m. I had an hour drive to my job. I worked until about 8:30 at night. Then I would finish up my charting and I would come home about 9:30 at night and then go to my second job, right? So if you could say that I was busy, I was busy. And now I'm going to be bringing this new life in. And I remember just sitting down thinking, is this all that there is? You know, I knew that I was made for more. I knew that there was a purpose out there. And I would pray for it all the time, you know, connect me with my highest purpose. I knew that this wasn't it. And here I was faced with, you know, do I leave a little girl for half the week? A brand new baby where if I was working 15-hour days, how was I going to get to see her? And that was just weighing so heavily on my heart. My husband had just finished a few years before his doctorate in physical therapy. And, you know, he was acting as a clinical director for several PT facilities. We were passing each other like ships in the night. We had just purchased our first house. We were moving. We were fixing and preparing it. And this doctor's message really fell on deaf ears. It just wasn't our season. We had so much noise in our life at that time. You know, I definitely wanted to take time off. And what this physician did not know about me is that I have an autoimmune condition. I'm a celiac. And the first 4 months of my pregnancy were absolutely awful. I had to take almost 8 weeks off. So when it was time for me to go on my maternity leave, I only had 8 weeks. And the hospital that I had worked for, and I've never publicly shared this, the hospital that I worked for actually called me and said, if you can't come back tomorrow, don't come back at all. I'd worked for them for over a decade. I was an exemplary employee. I had gotten 5-star ratings all the time. You know, I was shocked that they could let me go, but it was, you know, easier to hire a brand new nurse that they could pay $25 an hour than to keep a seasoned nurse on. So I was desperate. I was in a place that should have been the most important and exciting time of my life. My parents were getting a divorce and I was broken. I was a mess. I really was a mess. But, you know, looking back, our pain has purpose, and I was determined to turn my mess into a message. So, you know, Dr. Winston knew what he was doing. He really knew what he was doing. And I remember I was putting my daughter into the car on our way to our pediatrician's appointment, and he shouted out his door. He said, "Hey, Julie, I think I know a way for you to stay home with your daughter. Why don't you come over for supper tomorrow?" And then he went inside. Talk about FOMO. I really sat there all day long and I was thinking to myself, what doctor could he introduce me to? Am I going to work in an office? Well, maybe I could come home and pump and then do this. And if I just got a babysitter for this amount of time, my imagination was completely running wild. So it is okay to say less to more people, right? Say less and then leave. Let their imaginations go. We don't need to say everything to everyone. So my husband and I went over to their house that night and we listened to their stories. And to tell you the truth, we were kicking each other under the table. Like, is this one of those things, right? But we bought into Juice Plus because of them. Not because of what they said, but because of who they were. And I figured if they could make it to the top level in their 70s, then I can definitely do it. And I could definitely do it. So they inspired me and they let me know that they had vetted out this company, that they had said no for 9 years before they had read all of the research. I saw Juice Plus as a vehicle for my dreams. I had no idea how to do this. I'd never made a spreadsheet. I mean, I was a nurse. I'd never run a business before, but I knew my why. And I knew that they were the faces and the people that I saw every morning and the last faces I saw at night. My family was everything to me, and I knew that I was made for more. So in the years before Lena was born, my own family, the family that I grew up with, was very tumultuous. And I struggled with anger. I struggled with an eating disorder and an autoimmune disease. I knew that I wanted to be able to look at myself in the mirror and love the person that I saw. And I think that was even bigger to me than a paycheck. I wanted to love who I was. And I thought that, and listening to the Winston stories, I knew that this business could be transformational for people. I wanted to be the primary caregiver for my daughter. I wanted to make a huge impact on my community. I thought, oh my goodness, here it is. I can actually spend time with people and really help people get healthy instead of having to follow policies and procedures and, you know, all of the politics that occur in hospitals. And I also wanted to be independent. You know, we always hear the story, have a why that makes you cry, right? sometimes you need a why that fires you up and gets you angry, because anger can move you to action. I wanted to be independent. I never wanted to be like my mom, who always was waiting for the next ball to drop, or who had to ask my dad for money or to do certain things. I wanted to be independent. I wanted to make my own money. So that was a huge motivator for me. And, it's the part that I really don't share with people a lot, but when you hear the end of my story, you too will be able to really sit with yourself and realize that your past can empower you. Your past has purpose. And if you find the message in your past, you can be unstoppable. And I feel that today. I truly feel that today. So I took that passion and angst and I put my focus into making a difference in other people's lives. I mean, I was passion on fire. I called everyone. I called my mom. I think in 13 days we made VF. We were just doing it. We were doing it, and we were doing it together, which actually was kind of sexy. I have to say, working with my husband, I'd never done that before. And it was kind of like, usually you're looking at each other going, oh, isn't the baby so cute? And now we were doing this, and we were working on our business, and we were doing something that we'd never done before. And it was an adventure. Like I said, I'd never run a business before or had a spreadsheet. I mean, I had an aversion to social media. How was I going to be good, with running this company? But I kept thinking about my why, and I put it on the board. I put it right in front of myself. I knew that this company had a 3 to 5 year plan to get you to national marketing director, and I was going to follow the system. So remember, my upline was slightly older than me, well, a lot older than me. So I had to kind of be my own hero. They had their ways of doing it, which was potlucks and, parties and those types of things. And I had diapers and wipes all over my house. There was no way that I was inviting people over for a potluck multiple times a night. So I got to work, and I'm going to tell you the 5 big rocks that I feel were the most important decisions that I made when starting this business. Number 1, decide. Just decide. Right away, I made a decision. I had no idea about a marketing plan or anything like that, but I said to my sponsor in that first meeting, I need to make $2,000 a month as quickly as possible. And that was it. I decided what I wanted. So if you are on the fence of where you're going, that's probably the most important thing. People waver so much about where they want to go based on what they think that they can do. Decide and put it right in front of you. I had it in my kitchen, on a little whiteboard every single day. That's where I was going, and I knew that I was going there. So whether you're going for a goal or a position or a dollar amount or a club level, make that decision and make sure you see it every single day. Every time that I have a new goal, I change my password on my computer. So my new goal is my new password, 24 Club SAC. So every time I log into my computer, I am reminded of my goals. Please don't break into my computer, even though there's nothing on here that you would really want. And if you haven't heard it already, and I know the Heat team is big about this, but mindset is everything. Give yourself permission to be great, and give yourself grace when you fail. In our house, we say win or learn. That is our motto. I'm either winning or I'm learning, and I'm getting better. Several of you might have heard Catherine Lee's story about the butterfly and the chrysalis, and how that butterfly gets stronger by beating its wings against the chrysalis to break it open. And if you help that butterfly will die. You can only be protected by being strong and going through the process. And you actually are hurting people by not letting them, pave their own road. And that is a lesson that I've had to learn. You can't be strong for other people. You have to empower them to find their own voice and their own strength. So our thoughts truly become things, and I've experienced operating my business from a place of attachment and a place of love and non-attachment. And trust me, the latter is much more energizing and rewarding. When you find yourself getting in that tizzy, that's when it's time to step away and reflect. The former felt horrible for me. It felt like I was spinning my wheels, when I was trying to think about how I was going to get somewhere. I always went back to that goal and realized that if I had the right mindset and I just kept taking steps in my business, that I would eventually get to where I was going to go. So I decided each day if I was going to give my energy to love and the love of others, or fear. And fear hates action. So let's F fear and get onto it. That's what I would say to myself every day. But we quickly climbed to Q. The business was in my husband's name at that particular time. And we quickly climbed a queue, and then I got stuck. And I got stuck because anger can only take you so far. And this is where you get emotional and vulnerable, right? So anger can only get you so far. I was angry about what was happening with my parents. I was angry about what had happened in my past. And I reached out and I looked for personal growth. I was hungry for it. I knew that I needed it. I knew that, like I said, I was made for more, and I just started to seek out to find something that was right for me. So whether that for you is, Image or Brave Leaders or Diane Altamir or, whatever that is for you, I'm telling you that probably the most important investment that you will ever make is in personal growth. And for me, it has not only impacted my business, but it has sent a ripple effect through my life. It has helped every relationship that I've had, and this journey was not always linear. It didn't always go like this. Sometimes it was 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But as long as I just kept my eyes on the prize and kept taking steps, regardless of fear, and I had a lot of wise counsel around me that I'm going to talk about in just a second, but I got stuck. And if you're stuck, the person with the problem is always the one with the solution. And for so many years, I looked outside of myself for something to make me better, something to make me feel good. And it would happen, it would work temporarily, but really it was internal work that I was avoiding. And it was keeping me stuck in other areas of my life and in other relationships. My primary one was with my dad, and I will talk about that. We stopped speaking actually when I started this business. I remember it was Christmas Eve, and I was bawling to my father because of the decision that he'd made. And I just said to him, you know what, Dad, this is the last Christmas that I cry. This is the last Christmas that I cry. My daughter is now watching me, and I can't do this anymore. So we're just going to take a pause in our relationship. And I did that out of self-respect. I knew that the family that I'd created was very important at this point. So I decided to have love for my family and continue to move forward. But I just want to remind you also, you paid $50 for your business, all of us. Treat it like you paid $50,000 for it. It can pay you like that if you take it seriously. The next thing I did is I declared. I shared this goal with the right people. Many people who are on this call tonight, and I see your faces. There will be people who do not get what you are doing or why you are doing it. Those people don't matter. They don't matter. They will be noise or distractions on your road to your goals. Be very careful of the voices that you listen to. I have 3 primary people that I go to, and those 3 people will hold me accountable. Those 3 people make me better, and they always bring me back to the reason that I said yes and my why. So I always choose wise counsel. So, a why can make you cry, and that is awesome. A why can make you angry, and that is awesome. Whatever is authentic to you, get in there. I remember I have a really good friend, sideline friend, and she would say to me, I would give my canned answer until my regional director called me, and he was like, okay, try that again. That was a canned answer. And, she would say, I haven't been to the gynecologist in this month, and this hasn't happened. But yes. And he's like, thank you. And he clicked the phone. It's that reason. It has to be about you. It has to be about something that just fires you up to the point where you cannot stop thinking about it. I was going to create a different life for my family. I never wanted anyone to go through 10 years of misdiagnosis with an autoimmune condition, and I never wanted another parent to have to choose between a child and an income. That got me fired up. And I was out there looking for people who were looking for me. I wasn't out there being desperate. I was out there looking for people who I connected with, and with the mindset work that I was doing, I was finding those people much easier, right? So properly directed anger is a great place that can get you into action, but really getting into your heart and your emotion is what's going to help you to transform. So my declaration to my team and my family, sorry, my little girl just woke up, 3 to 5 years, whatever it takes. And that's what I said. And this is the one phrase that my husband would say to me when problems had my energy, right? He would look me in the eye and he would say, Julie, 3 to 5 years, whatever it takes. So every conference, every regional, I was there. I was listening to calls when my daughter was in the bathtub. I did Freedom Revolution calls from our hotel on vacation while Lena was sleeping in the bed next to me. I invested in personal change and energy work. I earned NMD. And that was hard for me to accept at first, but I did. I earned NMD. There were moments when I was at my limit, where I felt like I wanted to quit or change the goal to make it easier. I had moments of utter despair and disappointment, but those moments were always followed by a triumph when I chose to keep taking steps. Steps in spite of the challenge, always moving forward. Never looking back, always moving forward. And I declared last year that I would make NMD in Phoenix. And this obviously did not happen, but I learned a very valuable lesson. If I was the person that I needed to be for NMD by Phoenix conference, I would have been an NMD. I still had growth to go through. I surrounded myself with very wise counsel, and I trusted the process. I trusted that the process was making me stronger, more loving, and more effective. So several times on my journey, these limiting beliefs would come up. I'm not organized enough. I don't have enough time. I live in freaking New Jersey where people aren't so open. I have a young child at home. But I had to ask myself what was going on internally. Was the commitment that I had to whatever was distracting me, whether it was laundry or, some other thing, was that my commitment in that moment? Often what we say we want, we're not fully emotionally connected to. So I had to ask myself all the time, what am I committed to in this moment? Is it the laundry that I'm committed to, or is it being able to stay at home with my daughter and create independence for myself? Was that the priority? And that's a tough choice, because in the moment, you see everything that's around you and you want to take care of those things, but that is not connecting me with what was on that wall every day, or what I would be typing in my password. I was always reminded, this is where I'm going, and the laundry doesn't matter. It can wait. Trust me, any NMD that says that they did the laundry the month before they made it, or even the 3 months before they made it, is lying. I did the laundry, but I didn't cook. That's probably what it is. Number 3, dedicate. I was dedicated. That is definitely what I was. And I will ask you, are you teachable? How dedicated are you to reaching your goal? Will you quit when the times get tough? Will you choose productive over busy? Are you a team player? Are you willing to invest in growing yourself? Have you committed to conference and local events? I can honestly say there were only a couple of handfuls of days in the past 4 years that I did not touch my business. Sometimes it was a little, other times it was a lot, but every day I was reaching out, following up, building new relationships with team or prospects, and planning events, the money-making activities that are so important. When my sponsor asked me to read something, I read it. If she asked me to go somewhere, I went. My very first event, I drove 3 hours with a 3-month-old in the back of the car to see Catherine Lee speak for 1 hour. I was hungry. I was dedicated. If it was going to be, it was me that was going to do it. Those limiting beliefs and triggers from my past that stood in the way for me becoming the person and the leader that I wanted to be needed to be gone. My perception around those events were what was keeping me stuck. And we have all heard that this business is a personal development course cleverly disguised into business. And I'm here to affirm that the best investment that I ever made was in developing me. The forgiveness and dramatically impacted all of the relationships that were important to me. After I started to invest in personal development work, I really started to get to the heart of what was keeping me stuck. And I'll never forget, I was in a boot camp one time where I just felt convicted to call my dad. It had been 3 years, but the people that I had surrounded myself really were encouraging me to forgive and to move forward. And I made some decisions. I was scared. I did not want to do it, but I just said, okay, if it's going to be, it's going to be me. And I asked for a sign. I said, all right, if I'm supposed to call my dad, give me a sign. And Catherine Lee was actually speaking at this boot camp again. And she said, it's going to be like rocket fuel for your life. She was up at the podium. And I was like, gosh, darn it, I have to do this, right? So I walked outside. I called my dad. He wasn't there. I left him a message. But it was the beginning. It was a step. So not only was I taking steps in my business, but I was taking these steps in my personal life. And it wasn't comfortable. I had no idea what to expect. I was completely putting myself out on the line, but I was doing this for me. I wasn't doing this for the result. I was doing this for forgiveness and to model the way that humans should behave towards each other. The fourth thing that I did was I designed. Like I said, our company has a 3 to 5 year plan to get to NMD. This is the average. There are so many systems and tools that are available to us. I mean, many of you might think that it's overwhelming. There's so many things that we have to choose from. Our company is so awesome. There's Mission Driven Model. There's the T120. There's Shred 10. There's Freedom Revolution. There's 90-day game plan. There's the 515, 10-110. You know, the older things, sometimes people are still using them. The Royal Crown, Tower Garden systems. Systems are awesome. Systems create sustainability. Systems duplicate success. Utilize your systems. Don't spend so much time reinventing the wheel. Design a plan that is authentic to you and your team and stick with it, and do not judge the outcome for 6 months. Our team really stuck with Shred 10. Other teams are doing other things. That is what's worked for us. You know, our team's changed directions a few times, but we've really chosen to, you know, run with some of these things. We have an awesome shred group. I'm so proud of it. And if you're not getting what you need from your upline, design this plan to include sidelines and other leaders that inspire you. Show up. Ask for what you need. Don't wait for your sponsor to wrap everything up in the right package before you get started. The strength comes from you doing it. The strength comes from sharing your story over and over and over again. You get better. Remember the first time you shared your story? Heart beating, scared about what you're going to say, you know, and then the 70th time you share your story, it's no big deal. It's the same thing with driving. It's the same thing with anything worth doing. You get better every time that you do it. Win or learn, right? And the last thing that I want to share with you guys is, and I call the 5th big rock, because we can only really do 5 things well, is to dance. And I thought dancing was a very perfect analogy to close out this list, because some of us are natural dancers, right? Some of us have a little rhythm. That's probably me. I got a little rhythm. And some of us would rather be hugging the wall all night long in order not to have to make their way onto the dance floor. But at some point, you got to get out there. You got to put one foot in front of the other until you find that rhythm. There's going to be times where you're in the zone. There's going to be times when you step on toes or you lose a beat. Does that mean that you can't dance? No. You're supposed to get out there and become better, right? So get out there and do it like nobody is watching. I mean, in the end, the real lesson, and the lesson that I've learned over the past 4 years, is that you have everything inside of you to become what you want in this business. Everything. It's your job to determine your limiting beliefs and how to move beyond them. There is no wizard. You don't need the ruby slippers. You are the ruby slippers. And it's so interesting because I see the beautiful things in so many people that they see, or in so many people that I see all the time. People on my team, I'm getting so good at just finding the gold in people. Find the gold in people. Find the gold in yourself. You are absolutely worth it. I look back on my life now, or I look back on my life then, and this is what my life looks like today. I've never stepped foot in that hospital again. I've doubled my income. I spoke with my dad for the first time the Tuesday after I got the call for NMD. We were on speaking terms, and today I gave him permission to come and see me get cheered on by 8,000 people in Tampa. So if you can say 4 years and this process was worth it, I'm a different person today. I can look in the mirror and say, Julie Gervasi, I love you. And I love that you continue to keep taking steps. Because my bravery and your bravery give other people permission to be brave. So do something that scares you because it comes from you, because it's something that you want. Don't wait for other people to take action. There is no wizard. You don't need the ruby slippers. You are the ruby slippers. And I know that the Heat Team call goes until 9:30, and I don't want to overextend my time. No words. I was made by this fire. And I'm proud of the person that I've become. So if you are new, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. I have FOMO just to see people come in and transform. It is awesome. And I feel so privileged to be able to share my story on this call tonight. Thank you guys.
Whoa.
Woo!
I believe I have to follow that in some way, shape, or form. I don't even know how to follow that, Julie. And I know that most of the people on this call are feeling like, let's just let her go on. And I know that other people have places and things to do, but first of all, from the bottom of our hearts, the Heat wants to thank you. This has got to be one of the most amazing calls we've had. And my respect for you and my love for you is shines and just shining, and I'm doing the happy dance inside. I want to go turn music on and not hug the wall and dance right now.
Absolutely.
So, if anybody else wants to make a comment that's important for them, something maybe that Julie touched in you that was a deep place that you needed to hear tonight, because I know everybody's going to say thank you and you were amazing, but does anybody have something that really touched them deeply that they need to share with our tribe tonight? And just unmute yourself and we'll listen.
Hey, Julie, this is Patty.
Hey, Patty.
Patty G, talking to Julie G. Hey, I just love when you said that you were looking for people that are looking for you. And I think that just changes the energy. So that was powerful. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm not desperate at all. I've taken the desperation out. And when you find them, and it is awesome. There's so much synergy. Anybody else?
I would just love to say that I've been very fortunate to have known Julie for my 3 years being in the Juice Plus business. And I saw Julie when she first made the decision to stay home and not go back to work. And that's when we became friends. I just posted it on Facebook the other day that we had our little friendship thing. And I just can't tell you from the bottom of my heart, watching this transformation, watching Julie for the 3 years, what she's done for me, what she's done for everyone on our team. It's just been an incredible journey. And Julie's not kidding. We are on fire right now as a team. And we are just riding on the coattails of this rainbow called Julie Gervasi. and it's just been amazing, and it's just going to get better and better. And I'm not a young woman, but she has taught me so much and has empowered me and people on our team. And I know my teammates who are here tonight will agree with me. Look at this woman. Look at what she's become. It's just incredible. I'm bursting with pride. I have tears in my eyes. And I just love you, Jill.
Top 5 moms, do Sobo. It's amazing.
I'd like to say one thing. My name's Natalia. I'm actually a sideline of Julie, and she's adopted me. So adopted in. And Julie, you are the first person that really proved to me what this company's all about. Being one team, one mission. I didn't believe it. Yeah, one team, one mission. I heard it, didn't really believe it. But you fully encompass that as your culture, and have totally embraced me and helped me. And I just wanted to thank you, because that's the gift that keeps on giving. Now I'm giving that to my team. Now that culture trickles off and I'm able to give my sideline. So thank you.
Joining forces with powerful people is awesome. I don't care if you're on my team. I don't.
Hey,
I care about people. Yes, sir.
Julie, sorry. What I got from what you're bringing now, and it's like you've been an NMD for years, is that all the power comes from love. And you are bringing it from love, and I'm so proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. You helped to teach me about non-attachment, which was awesome. And that's where I've been operating from ever since.
Good job.
All right, everybody. I think we could spend a long time listening to Julie, learning from Julie, and hearing her heart. Totally contagious, which is the best part, I think. I got the word you've infected all of us. And it's an amazing virus to have. It's the Julie G virus. I think we all got it.
All right.
I want to ask everybody on this call to unmute themselves, and from the bottom of your heart, please give Julie a big warm heat. Thank you. However that.
Love you, Julie. You rock, sister.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Woo!
I love you, Julie.
All right. I cannot wait to see you in Tampa. I better see
Tampa, here we come!
Hey.
All right. I love you guys. Thank you so much. This is good.